Hey, Mark Burgess here, Big East Bass Fishing, bringing you another video. So this video, I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet, like under 10 minutes, for a variety of reasons, but I think this is going to end up being more of a series, or at least several videos to cover this topic, okay? So I don't want to make it too long. So that being said, what I want to talk about with you is the guys that did not requalify for the Bassmaster Elite Series. So this past weekend up at La Crosse, Wisconsin was the final Bassmaster Elite Series event for the seasons. So at the conclusion of that, a number of things. Obviously we had the winner, Pat Slapper and AOI, Chris Johnson, Trey McKinney battled it out. Jay Shakira was in the mix as well. It was a really interesting race. Just a good product, okay? But the big story to me is the guys that are not going to requalify, or that did not requalify, okay? So you may or may not know that I think they're going to take the top 71 guys that requalify, and they use a period of time, a couple of years, points average to determine that. Okay, so you got some rookies, you got some veterans, Bernie Schultz, to name one, long time, fixture with bass. Guys at various stages, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, 10 years, 13 years, not requalifying. And, as sad as that is for some of these guys, I think bass doing this legitimizes the sport, okay, with stick and ball sports, motorsports, where it's performance-based. I mean, if you don't perform, you do not last in those other sports, those other leagues, okay? So I think it's necessary. Is it tough to see some of the guys that, not come back? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's long overdue. My own personal experience, my first ever year on tour, fishing the invitationals, where everybody fished the invitationals, and then there was, of course, the BP Top 150s, and that preceded the Elite Series. So that first year, I was 14th going into the last tournament on Hartwell in points, and they take the top 25 to qualify for the BP Top 150s. To be honest with you, that wasn't my goal to qualify for that. I didn't think I was even going to have a shot, but I fished pretty well, and had a shot, and I ended up not catching big enough fish. I had a limit all 3 days. That's when we fished all 3 days. Just not enough weight, and I ended up finishing, I dropped in points to 34th, went from 14th to 34th, and they only took the top 25. So, all right, no big deal, just some, learning, right? So then I realized that with the double qualifiers, I had qualified easily. So I called up Bass, and they explained to me that, yeah, normally you would, but that's when they instituted the Legends rule, and I bring this up because they had to do that. They need that because those were the stars, okay? And there were several stars, or more than several, that did not requalify, okay? And they needed to get in off the invitationals. So that's how they filled the BP Top 150 field, was with that new rule, the Legends exemption. You had to be AOI at least, or Classic Champion. Back then, they might have even included like Mega Bass winner or something like that. But anyway, I bring that up because Bernie Schultz, long fixture with bass. I do not believe he has a Legends exemption. I hope he does, and I apologize if I'm wrong. So you're going to see his career on the Elite Series come to an end, at least briefly, okay? I don't know what he's planning on doing. I don't know what any of them are planning on doing, but I'm very curious as to what they are going to do. What would I do? Right now, I'll preface this with, I believe the reason you fish bass is to qualify for the Bassmasters Classic and fish the Bassmasters Classic, okay? And have a shot to be world champion. Just cross that stage, fish that event. That is the carrot, I believe, that Bass is swinging out there, okay? So that being said, myself personally, I would go to, say, like the NPFL. I'd fish the NPFL, depending on my strengths, and that kind of lines up with me, but maybe some of the forward-facing sonar guys that fish that way, exclusively almost, maybe not so much, okay? So, but anyway, I think I would fish another trail. Like MLF, they've gone to the, going to be fishing just the top 50. They have those lower trails, and I apologize, there's a couple of them, I guess, for 26. I don't know exactly what they're called, so I don't want to mispronounce it, but, I don't follow that side as close. So, but anyway, they're paying, a couple of them are going to pay like $100 grand to win. I'm not sure how far back they're going to pay, but, and that really doesn't matter as much as fishing a top level tour to give you the platform, to give you the stage, to give you the place to promote your brand, okay? I would have a conversation with my sponsors and say, okay, look, I didn't requalify for the Elite Series. I do or I don't want to get back to it. But this is what I'm going to do. I personally would fish the NPFL, and I would fish an Open Series, or both, 4-8 tournaments. Along, if I wanted to get back into the Elite Series, I'd fish the EQ qualifiers as well, okay? So that's what I would do, and I would even go as far as fishing the nation, okay? Because they're bringing back, we had the qualifiers, which I won the one last year on Champlain. Going forward, they're going to be called the regionals again, okay? And you'll join a state, nation, go or pay to go to that qualifier, that regional qualifier, qualify for the nationals, and try to get a classic berth through the nationals. I would do that. I would do the opens, an open circuit or two, just to keep the classic qualification available, okay? Just to have an option and let the sponsors know what those plans are, okay? But there's a bunch of guys that are gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do. Some may not fish that level at all going forward. Some may drop back and fish the Open. Some may fish the MPFL. Some may go over to the MLF side. I don't know. Okay, but I'm going to try to find out. Talk to a few guys, and that's why, based on your comments, I want to know what you think. What do you think of the qualifying process? What do you think of them? Those guys not requalifying. Because it's very important that the new guys coming up, high school, college, the opens, okay, they need a place to go. The guys that want to fish at that level, the guys who are aspiring to be Elite Series anglers, you have to have room for them. So this is healthy. This is good. This is going to give them a place to go when they qualify. And that's what Bass is doing. They're going to keep it right around 100. That's fine. But now these guys can qualify to get there, and there's a place for them when they do get there. Okay, so give me your thoughts, give me your feedback. We'll talk about it, and we'll do a few more videos, as many as we need, in order to cover the topic. All right, so appreciate you checking it out, and look forward to hearing what you have to say.